AI has, for a long time, been thought of as science fiction, too complex and advanced to understand. However, for the first time, we may have the means to create it. The answer lies in Carl Friston's free energy principle, which explains all biological reactions as a result of a brain's perception and response. However, in all its complexity, it can be understood through a simple cup and ball trick.
First, let's establish that our environment is made up of cause, effect, and probabilities. Our brains are just a section of this probability tree, which is known as a Bayesian model, as we receive information about and act on our environment. Essentially, the theory states that we try to model our thoughts after the environment to predict and therefore better understand it. However, our environment is constantly changing, so the first thing brains have to do is predict this change known as entropy. But what is entropy in a real-life situation? Going to the cup and ball trick, here are 3 cups all moving at the same time. If I focused on all 3, I wouldn't be able to pick the right cup. This is basically what entropy is, changes in the environment which don't align with the information we actually want. So, if I focus on the right cup, by limiting the visual information I receive from my eyes, I can decrease how much the change affects me. The next equation is this. It states our brain guesses our environment based on what we already know, but in this context, it doesn't just mean guessing, it means learning. Let's say I put on a blindfold and I pick the right cup. My brain immediately tells me that there's a 1 in 1 chance so far. But as I continue, I learn that the chance is closer to 1 in 3, so I can actually tell that there are 3 cups even though I don't really know for certain. This is why our brains are described as Bayesian models. Unlike probability trees, Bayesian models can change over time, just like our brains. This equation basically shows how we learn based on what we already know. But what if, instead of constantly changing our predictions to align with the environment, we can change the environment to align with our predictions? Basically, this theory also states that our brains have the ability to set goals and achieve them. For example, I know my goal here. I want to pick the ball. Without looking at the shuffling process, I know that the probability is currently 1 in 3. However, I don't want to accept that the probability is simply just 1 in 3. I want to increase my chances. So, I act on the environment and I take 2 cups. Suddenly, my chances of achieving my goal have increased. Though this is a simple example, all brains, animal or human, do this in our everyday lives, whether in the tasks we achieve every day or the way we perceive and think about the world around us.
What are the implications? Modeling programs after these equations can create AI which thinks, acts, and learns just like we do. The principle can also be used to explain brain disorders like autism, which results from too many synapses firing off at once. From a philosophical point of view, it also mathematically proves that through the simple acts of trying and focusing on the things that matter to us, we are automatically bringing our dreams closer to our reality. I'm Joshua Trung, and thank you for listening to my explanation of the free energy principle, a breakthrough for understanding our own minds as well as the world around us.